Okay, it's been quite a while since I did a video. I ain't been too into making videos here since this COVID-19. I've been home. I've been painting, as you can see. I painted the whole house. Keeping busy. So anyways, I wanted to give you a quick update of what's going on here with my aquariums. As you can see, I'm going to make another video in the day or when the light's on, but I've been kind of waiting. You know, kids are home and it's been quite rowdy. Plus we've had 4 birthdays this month, so but you can see the plants are starting to take off. Things are starting to change in the 75 gallon. Starting to look good. I have done some updates to the aquarium. I've added Lobegia, I added all kinds of plants in this tank. And it's starting to balance out finally. It's been a long road to balancing this 75 gallon tank. You just gotta get the tank full of plants and crank the CO2 and crank your light. So I changed up the way I was injecting the CO2 into the aquarium. It just wasn't working. I was using the little round tube. I don't know what you call them, but they're just junk. I mean, the light grows algae on them and just a pain in the ass. They're no good. Plus they hold back a lot of CO2, like a lot of pressure in your lines. So what I've done is I went to inline. Turn the light on here. This has been a pain in the butt doing this, but it's well worth it. So here's the inline CO2 setup. Here is the packaging. It's all China. I purchased these back months ago before the pandemic even started. I think I purchased these back in November, and I just now received them. There's 2 of them. So there it is. It's to the inline CO2, and as you can see, I had cut and spiced into a 5/8 hose into. So this is 5/8 going into 3/4. 19 millimeter. This would be 5/8 would be 16 millimeter. I'm not quite sure. 16. Yeah, I'd be about that. So anyways, I asked a question on the CO2 diffusers, and I asked if they would fit, what size I would need to fit a 3/4 inch diameter hose that comes with the Sun 304B. As you can see, and there it is, 304B. Well, they said the 16 to 22 millimeter, as you can see right there, that I do have, will fit the 3/4 inch hose, which would be 19 millimeters, which is not the case. The problem is, this hose is so thick, so when you put it on, the hose can't tighten down onto this type of hosing, the 3/4. The wall of the hose, the outer side, is quite thick. I don't know what the total measurements were, but I do know the inner diameter is 3/4 inch. So yeah, probably about a little over about an inch. But anyways, this tubing is 5/8 tied into the 3/4, and then I can screw the 5/8 perfectly with the nut on this. If you want, you could take and cut this and go with a smaller 5/8 and put the smaller hose on, and then put this right over top and then clamp it. I didn't like that because it's just not the way I want it to work, because I may need to separate this line to clean it, so I want to be able to take these off and pull it apart. And it unscrews also right here, but you need to unhook somewhere to unscrew. So that's what I've done with this. There's no leaks, as you can see. So that adapter is 3/4 inch down to 5/8. 5/8 into the CO2 diffuser, and then back into the canister. Now, everybody says they see these hooked up, and it's wrong. That's not the wrong way. Actually, I tell you the truth, it doesn't matter which way you hook these up. It's going to work no matter what. Water flows through it, and it doesn't matter which way it flows through. Also, the CO2 is always creating CO2 bubbles, so it doesn't matter which way it goes, it's going to go through that no matter what. So there's no really wrong or right way of doing it, but the way I did it was put it so the CO2 is up here going in, injecting it in, then force out. So I decided to share that because I see that a lot of that online. A lot of people are saying it's wrong, which there's really no wrong and there's really no right. So it's just a preference of how you want to install it, which way is convenient. And yeah. So I've noticed since I've installed this CO2, just within, let's say, 24 hours, it's been a big difference. The plants are pearling. The CO2 is actually smoother getting to your tank. There's no holdback. There's no pressure hold up on that. When you use these smaller CO2 diffusers in your tank, I just didn't realize how much it was holding back and screwing up my regulator. So I have 1, 2, 3 tanks, 4 tanks that's on the same regulator, and using those little diffusers was really hurting my regulator because it was trying to push out, and the diffusers in the tank were just not releasing it like it should have been. So the minute I hooked up this inline and kept the bubble counter on the same count with the in-tank diffuser, I noticed as soon as I hooked this one up, it was like, wow, it was blowing right into the tank. So I had to cut back my bubble count to make up for this one because it was free flow. It was no holding back, which is much better. So that right there alone, you might want to think about switching to an inline, because there's no holdback, there's no pressure on the line, there's no great deal of pressure. So one thing I did notice just now, that I do have water in my line, and it only made it so far though. It come up through, so it went through here, and it made it to as far as it got. So about probably 14 inches hose, it made it through. That's fine, it didn't go clear through. That's why I kind of looped it like that, so I would stop some of the feedback on the water. Now you will get that because you have flow going, right? Excuse me. You could put check valves on it, but they don't work 100%. You'll still get feedback from your pressure of your water. Here's the Samsung 304B. I've had it now for a year and I've never had a problem with it. You always make sure that when you take anything apart, all the little gaskets, rubber O-rings and stuff, you need to get food grade silicone or oil grease. You need to do them up all the time. And also, you should always have backup O-rings anyway. What else can I've changed? over the pandemic. So anyways, you guys, I have increased my light to about 30% from what I've had it on before. I've had it on at, my light was about 55%, and now I'm up to 92%. So it's almost maxed at 100%. With the CO2 pumping into the tank and the CO2 injector, it's probably a little bit over 30 parts per million. It's probably roughly around, I'm guessing, 32. So when your drop checker, it's right on the verge of being yellow, but it doesn't go yellow. It's like a lime green, or a light lime green. And it's probably the perfect spot for your CO2. I'm guessing. Seems to be. So anyways, these here seem to be a really good diffuser, you guys. Pick them up. They're $30 a piece. I recommend purchasing extra ceramic so you can take this one out and clean it and have one just to go ready to go right inside of it. Would be a good idea, because you want to soak that in peroxide anyway. But the canister's held up. It's doing really good. I've installed one on the 75, the CO2 lines. So one's on the 60 gallon, one's on the 75, and the 36 gallon in the bedroom has a canister coming. It's the 303B. It's coming for the tank in there, and I have another one of these diffusers for it. I will never go back to hang on back filters. Never. There's an argument people have out there that they leak, they're a problem. Well, if you don't know how to maintain and clean and use these, then you're going to have problems. If you're not careful with your gaskets, you put a little chip in them, crack them, you don't grease them like you're supposed to, you're going to have issues. You're just going to let them go dry, you wipe them down all the time, you don't grease nothing back up, you're going to have issues. You want to have spares too on hand, like I said last time. Never had problems, never leaked. It's worked flawlessly, and it holds so much media that really hasn't been a problem. You know, you got so much more media in here, and it keeps up with a big tank. And you know, we'll say power outages. This tank, if this dies down for a long period of time, the chances of all the media, all this the bacteria in it, it dies, is not all of it's going to die, but some of it will. With a hang-on back, it's so small that it doesn't take much to kill all that good bacteria. So that's a help. And it's such a bigger quantity of sponges, and you get trays upon trays of media. This thing's sitting for a good 24 hours. I wouldn't be worried about it. Plus, you might use stability anyway. Excuse me. You get yourself some stability and add something to it once you get her going, so it shouldn't hurt it. But anyways, you guys, that's what I've been doing. It's dark, I'm sorry. But shut everything down. Everything's growing. The fish are probably wondering, like, what are you doing? I lost a kamak, or a blue rainbow. Long story about that one. But we were away, and the rainbow shark that we have in here, what we had in here, chasing them all around. And I had rocks over here in a corner, over here in the corner with a volcano on top, and he got chased over and he got wedged in there, and that was where he got stuck. So we found him. I don't know how long he's been there, but my little girl found him, and I got him out and he was swimming around fine through the night, but he died the next day, so we lost another fish. But thankfully, we had a male and a female, and we spawned them already. And they're in the 10-gallon tank over here. Just take a quick look. All the lights are out, but I think you can probably still see them. There's some babies swimming around. Oh God, the tank's dirty. Let me see if I can get a good look. There's some babies right there. Wow. Sorry for the dirty tank. But they are the blue Kamacos. There's like 25 in there, 30. And I'm feeding them brine shrimp. This one here is another, I think there's 4 or 5 Bosemani's. They're really pretty Bosemani's with the really bright yellow on the back and blue in front. And down here, I haven't had too much luck. The angels, they're bickering down there. Look at them. I better leave them alone. They have eggs now again on the rocks, so they keep eating them. So I'm going to wait a little longer, and I'm going to take them out, I think, and put them in the 60-gallon. But yeah, been painting, cleaning the whole house. All different colors. Blue and white. We got tile to go back here. All the doors, everything's painted. Painted trim, doors, windowsills, walls. What do you do in a pandemic when you're stuck home? Paint. Got myself a big barbecue. But anyways, you guys, I just wanted to share this with you guys. I noticed the glass is rubbing on the light right here. I'm gonna have to get myself something kind of bumper. Holy, dusty. Holy. I just cleaned that off. That's from sanding and crack filling. Jeez. In the other room. So anyways, you guys, thanks for watching. It's been a while since, like I said, I uploaded the video. I hope everybody stays safe. I hope you's all well and be patient. This should be over soon. I just hope they don't open everything up too quick, and then we go into another phase, and then we're stuck home all through the summer. So it'd be better off if you take it slow, stay into June, or at least into June to July, and make sure it's gone, because it's going to be a rough winter next year, I think, and a rough fall. So prepare yourself for that and start buying food and meat. Hell yeah, and toilet paper. So anyways, you guys, come back. I'll have a video on the aquarium when it's lit up. I don't want to be disturbing the fish. So, later.